Let's talk about it. So, I wanted to more ask you guys a question than I did want to actually inform you of stuff. I wanted to ask you when the last time you talked to your inner child was. You might call me crazy, you might not understand it. And I know there's neurodiverse people here who don't all think the same. In my mind, I can actually physically speak to that person. Some people can. Some people have that internal voice that actually talks back and allows them to have a genuine conversation with themselves. And I know it sounds crazy, but if you're one of these people, you understand. If you're not one of these people, well, I'm struggling to understand you. But I'm working on it. Your inner child, at least to me, is probably like your subconscious. And I might be right, I might be wrong. I don't know the facts specifically on this. I know what works for me. And I know what I do. And it's something I haven't done in a little while. And it's probably time for me to say hello to somebody. Myself, my inner child. But your inner child usually generally knows what you want before you know what you want. Like deep down. Like really deep down knows what you want. So it's a great person to talk to. And I'm actually going to always speak of my inner child as its own individual person. I do this for a lot of things. It's just generally how I do it. If I think about a business, it's its own person. If I think about, my inner child, it's its own person. So now that we kind of understand what I'm talking about, when was the last time you talked to that person? When was the last time you talked to your inner child? When was the last time you asked your inner child the hard questions? Because if you're ever feeling lonely and you ever feeling like you don't have somebody in your corner, you need to remember that that person has always been in your corner ever since you were little. And at some point in life, if you've lost connection with that, it's most likely because you ended up in a state where you felt that that person needed to be protected. That inner child of yours needed to be defended by this older version of you who's bigger, tougher, and stronger than that child used to be. And it's a beautiful and it's a sad thing. The fact that you'll go to bat for that person is phenomenal. The fact that you have to let go of that person in order to do so sucks. And becomes a journey to find that person again. But that person is your biggest advocate. Bigger than yourself personally. Like the you now isn't even as much of an advocate as that inner child of yours. You will talk yourself down at some point. You will tell yourself that I can't do it, or it's going to be too hard, or whatever other excuse you come up with. But if you really ask the hard questions, like, why am I still doing this today? Or why would I continue going on? I'm struggling so much. It'd be easier and safer if I just stopped. But if you really sit there and ask your inner child the questions of why are we doing this? Younger version of myself, why are we doing this? Why are we going down this road? Why did we even begin this journey? Why do I want to give up? What do you think? These are all things that you can ask that inner child of yours, who will always be there to give you the answer that you really need and that you really want. And that really works for you and gets you to where you want to go. And that inner child of yours will motivate you to not give up, to remember why you do things, to remember who you are and who you wanted to be. Because a lot of us are probably being a version of ourselves that isn't the version we want. And it's not a bad thing. Maybe that version is just more suited for what you're doing right now. But that younger version of yourself probably wanted to be like an astronaut, or wanted to save every puppy in the entire fucking world, or wanted to be the very first professional snowball maker, or whatever it happens to be. That person dreams, and that person wants, and that person has no limits. And we usually put that person away to keep them safe. But what I'm trying to say here is you really got to consider that person, because that person was the first person who dreamed. That person was the first person who thought what you're doing right now is even possible. That person always thought you could do it, without doubt. It didn't question whether you were able to do it or not. So, have a conversation with that person. Take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And ask. And listen. Because you'll find the answers that you're looking for if you talk to that person. That person knows better than anybody else. So maybe take 5 minutes and practice. And if it doesn't work out, keep trying. You'll get it. That person will talk. They might be scared. You might be scared to let them out. But on that note, stay positive. Stay motivated. And let's be better.